Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode for Agentforce for everyone. In this episode, we are going to talk about custom lightning types. So what is lightning type? A lightning type is simply a JSON based data type which Agentforce is used in order to display data to the Agentforce chat. Now, there are different types of lightning types available. So if we look for lightning types, you will see these are all the standard lightning types available out of the box. Starting with list type. So whenever we ask to an agent, give me list of all the accounts or all the contacts or whatever the Agentforce is responding in a form of list, they are using a simply list type data type. And there are several others as well, such as Boolean, date, date time, integer, number, object, rich text, text, URL. So these are all the standard lightning types. Now, what is custom lightning types? Custom lightning type is something which we can create with the help of some files, some JSON files, which we are going to see very quickly. Custom lightning type is basically useful when we want to display the data the way we want. For example, if I would like to retrieve a list of records, not in a list type parameter, but instead a different, let's say a lightning card, or let's say a data table, or in any other UI format, so that I'm going to use a new custom lightning type. And how to create custom lightning type? Because we don't have any new button available here, so there is a proper way to create custom lightning type, which we are going to discuss in today's lecture. Now let's first understand how the Agentforce gives the data on standard lightning type. So I am on a Agentforce org, and this is going to be my agent. Let me refresh this page. So if I open my agent, and by the way, a very important note that this custom lightning type is only available into Agentforce default. That means this is not currently available into service agent or any agent which is deployed to either experience site or to any WhatsApp channel, Facebook channel. So this is only available in the default Agentforce employee agent. So let me ask this agent, summarize the account, and let me give a name of the account. Let's say United Oil and Gas Corporation. I did a spelling mistake, but that's fine. The agent is smart enough to understand. So as you can see, this is a box which is determined that this box is generally a text box. So the Agentforce has decided they are going to display the data and return in a text type, lightning type. So this is going to be a text. So let's say if I ask, give me a list of top 5 accounts. Now I'm expecting the Agentforce should use the list type data type. And you can see this is generally a list. And now in the background, they might have using a lightning card or something. So that's working fine for standard lightning types. Now, if I have a requirement, let's say not just the account, but if I have a custom object, or if I have a set of objects and I want to display the data in my UI format, that means in a very custom UI format, then I need to design a custom lightning type. Let's have a look at another example. How many accounts we have in the system. So now they said the total number of accounts in the system is 15, and you can also see the 15 is in a box which is disabled. So that means this is currently a number field, and they have used the lightning type as number, which is available here. So these are all about the standard lightning types. Now in this lecture, we are going to design a new custom lightning type. For that, let's choose a scenario. So the scenario I have decided is I have a custom object called books, and I have preloaded the data. So you can see there are 10 books available in the system, which has their quantity, bestseller, is the book a bestseller or not, their ratings, and on which year the book is published. And we are also having a author who has written this book. Now I am going to ask my agent, show me all the books, and I don't want a simple, very basic, very outdated, just simple a list. Instead, I want a very attractive UI, so that whenever I see any book, it looks nice, maybe with some images, with some buttons, big size book titles, and if it is bestseller, then it says something, some icon, or based on the rating. Let's say if the rating is 5, then I need to display 5 simple stars. If the rating is not 5, let's say 4, then I need to display 4 star, etc, etc. We can design the UI accordingly. So for that, I have set a couple of steps which we are going to perform. So this is going to be a 2-part video because I don't want to make the video very long. So in the part 1, we are going to write a new topic for the books management, and we are going to write the code how we can fetch all the books from the system, and we are going to create the Agentforce action. So let's start with creating the topic. For that, I am going to my default Agentforce agent, and I will open this in the builder, and first step I'm going to deactivate this to make the changes. So I already have a general CRM and account summary, but I need a custom topic. Now this says, what do you want this topic to do? So I want this topic to fetch all the books from the system, and next. So we have our name of the topic, suggested book retrieval, which is fine. Then we have instruction: when a user requests to fetch all the books, query the system for the complete list of books, which is good. If the system query fails, inform the user and suggest try again, which is also good. We don't need this, but that's fine. Present the list of books in a clear and organized manner, including relevant details such as title, author, publication date, which is also fine. And I will also give an example how the user will ask. So the user might ask, show me all the books. That's it, and hit next. Now we need to add an action which is going to perform the query to fetch all the books. We don't have that action at the moment, so I will finish for now, and I will come back here and add an action. So I'm not going to activate. Let's first write our action. Before that, we need to write the logic. So let's write the apex. Now I will create a new class. Let's say book retrieval is our topic, so book retrieval controller. Now, as I have many times discussed this in my previous episode, if we are going to write a apex which is going to use in Agentforce, then we need to make sure our method, our variables should be invocable. So let's design a invocable method first. Invocable method, and let's give some label and description. So label, let's say retrieve books, and description, let's say fetch all the books from the system. That's it. And now let's design the method, public static list. We will come back to the list later, and let's say get books, and here also we need list. Now in order to write the method for Agentforce, we need to make sure our method will receive a list of parameter and will also sends a list of parameter back to the agent. So for receiving, I am going to write a new class, let's say book request, and req. Why book request? We can give any name. That needs to be a class, because let's say if the user is particular about to know for a particular book, then we need that option as well. So in the book request, let's design this class, and we can simply receive the name of the book, and then we can filter the book with the particular name. But for our use case, we need to display all the books. So we have implemented this as an optional. If the user wants a particular book, they can simply enter. And this method, this variable should be also invocable variable. Cool. We need to return the list of books also. So we are going to return the list of book in a response class. So let's say book response. This is also going to be a class with an invocable variable. So let's say public class this, and invocable variable. So there I am going to return all the books. So I am going to, let's say, return public available books, available book options. So this is going to be the name of my variable, and this is going to be another class. Now the question comes here, why do we need a class here? We can simply, let's say, return something like this. So this is the name of our custom object. We can simply write this, right? And then this can hold all the books data. No, if you are going to create a custom lightning type, you cannot do this. And you need a special class. So this class is representing as a key. Now, if I give you an example, so for example, this is going to be my JSON, and it has, let's say, name, test, quantity, let's say 1, right? So understand, this is going to be my JSON. So we need a key as well. So this is going to be our key, available books, and then our JSON will start. So this is going to be our key, and this is whatever is inside the curly brackets is going to be the value for that JSON. You will understand more when we are going to create the Agentforce agent. So if you think this is confusing, that's fine. You don't need to worry about. Just wait until we create the Agentforce agent, and then you will get the proper understanding. So now I am simply going to remove this, and I will simply create another class which is available books. Public class, and this class now is going to hold the list of books, which is public list of book. Let's say book options. And this book is also not an object, but this is also going to be a wrapper. So let's say we need the final class, which is this book, and which is going to hold all the data, such as the name of the book, quantity, author, bestseller, year, etc, etc. So let's first look at what data we actually need. So I'm simply going to my export, and this is going to be my query. So this is name, quantity, author, bestseller, rating, year. So let's say we are going to return these 6 fields. Yeah, so I am going to define 6 variables here, which is going to be invocable variable. Public string name of the book. Let me copy this. So name, and then we need author, which is also going to be string. Then we need, is it a book a bestseller or not, which is going to be a boolean, which determines true or false. Then on which year the book is published, so which is going to be integer. Then we have a rating, which is going to be string, which generally needs to be decimal, because rating is sometimes, let's say 3.5, 4.5, it's into the decimal places. But Agentforce agent doesn't understand decimal, or basically doesn't support decimal. When you are going to create a agent action, and if you use decimal as an invocable variable, you will receive an error. You can definitely try it out. So instead of decimal, we can understand this as a string, and then we can maybe convert this later. And then we have finally rating, author, quantity. Yeah, so quantity will always be integer, because it represents a number. So we have all our variables, and now let's create the constructor. Name, author, let's say bestseller, year, rating, and last is quantity. And now it's time to assign the values to the variables. Name, this dot best seller, this dot year, this dot rating, quantity. I think that's all done. Let me try to save this class. Because we haven't written anything, so that's fine. So we have our class, which is going to hold the data of book, and then we have our response, which we are going to return. So this response will prepare a key, which is available books, and the value, which is the number of book records. And then this is going to be our request. If a user wish to provide a book name and want to see the particular book detail, they can definitely provide, but this is currently optional, as we would like to display all the book to the UI. So now let's write the code. So I'm going to use the same query in order to get the list of books. So this is going to be my custom object, list of books. So this way we are getting all the books. Now I am going to define the variables, which we are going to return back to the agent. Responses new this. We also need to define a single book response. So we define the response. We also need to define this and this. So let's define this first. So this is basically under book response. So book response is res, so which is going to be this dot available book options and the class name. So this is going to be the class name. And now once we have defined this, we need to define this. So this is currently under available book, and available book is currently under book response. So this is quite tricky, but when you are getting used to with it, then it will be easier for you. So response.available_books.book, so which is going to be the book options. And because this is a list, so we need to define this as it is. So that's how we define all of our variables. If you think this is confusing for you and you need to understand more, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, and then I'll make sure I'll give you the proper clarification. So once we have defined everything, we query all the books. Now it's time to set the books to the book constructor. So let's loop all the books first. Book. And even we don't need this list, so let me remove this list and use the query directly. I mean, you can definitely do the code optimization. That's not the purpose of the video. The purpose is to discuss how to create a custom lightning type. So we have all of our book data. Now let's define the book constructor. So let's say book constructor and the constructor will receive 6 parameters, which is name, author, bestseller, year, rating, quantity. So let's do one by one. Name, author, then let me first copy all this. So it starts with name, author, and now the bestseller, then we have year, then we have rating and quantity. So rating and last quantity, and so we will receive an error for the data types. Yes, so we have string boolean, string boolean, decimal string decimal, and we need to convert this to the integer because we don't have any decimal. And we need to do the same thing with quantity. Hopefully it should work now. Yes, so we have our constructor, we have our book records ready, and now we need to add this book records to the list of book options, because book options is the variable name which holds all the book. So let's copy this dot add, and we can simply add our constructor data. Once that is done, outside of the loop, we are going to use our main responses, which we are going to return, and add this single book response, and then we are going to return the responses back to the agent. So that's the code which we are using today to design the custom lightning types. So if I recall this class, so starting with, we have created our invocable method, which is going to receive a list of name, basically a name as book request. Now this is currently optional, but if you would like to see how to use this, you can simply go and put a where clause, where name or anything in any variable. If you would like to filter it, you can choose that. But if you would like to use with the name, you can simply add the filter where name equals to this req, and you will always need to fetch the 0th element and then whatever the variable you have declared here. So your agent will pass the name of the book in the book name variable, and then you can filter the particular book with this query. I'm not going to do that because I need to fetch all the books. That's why I just made it optional. And then we have defined all the important variables. This is going to be our query, which fetches all the book. This is going to be our constructor, which we are preparing the data, then adding the data to our list of books, and then finally adding all the responses back to the agent. This is our request wrapper class. This is our response wrapper class. This is our key JSON. I can say class, because JSON is, because custom lightning type is basically JSON based data type, right? So we need a key somewhere. So that's how we design the key. You can give any name, and then this is going to be our value which holds all the books data. And then I will explain more when we are going to create Agentforce agent, what is the use of this available books. So that's all done. We created our class. Now it's time to create the Agentforce action. So for that, I'm going to Agentforce asset and to the actions folder. So our class is going to be fetched with retrieve books. So if I click new action, use apex invocable, and I can see retrieve books, and I can simply remove this underscores because I don't like underscores, and next. So I can see I have the description already, and the loading text I will say loading books. So in the book name instruction, I will say pass the book name if user has provided, because this is optional, and available book options. So display all the books to the UI. Now show in conversation, because we need to show the data into the conversation. Now if you look at the output rendering, this is something very important for today's lecture. Currently it says it is getting the data from our apex class type. Book retrieval control is the name of our class, and available books. So that's why we made a separate class available books. So this is going to be the key for our JSON, and then whatever the value is there, the value is simply Agentforce displaying to the UI. That's why we create the extra JSON class. And I think that's all the data we have populated, and now I can click finish. So that's how our Agentforce action is ready. Now we are going to add this action to the agent. So I'm going to simply refresh this agent, and I will go to my book retrieval, to the actions, and adding the newly created action here. So this is a new action I can see, and I can select and finish, and I maybe click refresh, and let me test this here before I activate. Show me all the books. So as you can see, this is the books data I can see. Now let me first activate this, and let me go back to my books screen and make a refresh, and then now I will show you here. So let's launch the agent and ask the same question. Show me all the books. Enter. So it says here are all the books available, and then it gives us the response. So now as you can see, Matt Haig. Now Matt Haig is the author of the book The Midnight Library. True means this is a bestseller. 12 means it has 12 quantity, and 4.1 means a rating. Now I don't like this output response at all, because it doesn't make any sense, any difference that user will understand, okay, Matt is the author of the book and this is the title of the book, or 12 is the quantity, and this true false. So this, because the Agentforce uses the lightning types accordingly, and because we have given here integer, string, integer, boolean, so that's why the Agentforce has decided, okay, I need to display the data in the standard lightning types. But that's not a proper UI. That's not something the user will expect this, right? So now we are going to create a brand new lightning web component to replace this type of UI. So we are going to create our own UI, and that is going to display the books data in very attractive way. So if I go back to my PPT, we have created the Agentforce topic for books management, and we have written our Apex class, which fetched all the books and display it to the Agentforce. Now in the part 2, that means in the next episode, we are going to create a lightning web component which is going to replace this standard lightning type and gives us a very attractive, very impressive UI, so that the user will definitely like it. We will have some buttons over on the lightning web component, such as buy this book, and because we have the rating, so we are going to use the stars. If we have 5 rating, then we are going to use 5 stars, and we are going to do much more into that. And then in the end, we are also going to see how to configure this custom lightning type, and we can actually see the demo. So that's it for today's episode on this part 1. Stay tuned for the part 2. If you have any questions in part 1, anything in Apex, anything into lightning standard versus custom lightning type, feel free to drop a comment, or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I would love to help you. Till then, take care.